All right, guys. I had to pull over real quick to shoot this video. It's just been a busy week, man. Everybody's probably drained after this disappointment of a weekend. That one really let the air out of the tires. It was a really deflating loss. Hard pill to swallow there. Kentucky coming in. Florida definitely the more talented team, going by recruiting rankings. Stoops has been there a long time, man. He's built a hell of a program there. He's developed those guys. He's got a great system in place, good defense. They were ready. They scouted us. They had the better game plan. They managed the game better. They tried to give the game away. They played sloppy as hell. They tried to give the game to us many times, and we could never take advantage. I mean, the turnover, the fumbled kick, literally just try to give it away. But we did the same thing, equal if not more, by the pick six and the turnover, getting more points by Anthony Richardson. Worst game by UF quarterback that I've seen in a long, long time, probably since maybe Trayon Harris. I'm not comparing him to Trayon Harris, but I just think that was a little eye-opening to see him get nervous like he did and to struggle like he did. You could tell the moment was almost too big for him in a way. In this game, once his confidence was gone, he just spiraled out of control with Anthony Richardson. Um, Admitting as much after the game, he said his confidence was shot. That to me scares me. You never want to hear a quarterback say that, and for him to come out and admit it, I love him taking ownership. He should take the blame. That game was on him ultimately, and the offensive line not getting a push. We couldn't run the ball. But it was the entire offensive staff and Anthony, the offensive line. That's who's to blame. Management of the game, poor decision making. If I'm being honest, the offense regressed in my opinion. There was no creativity. It reminded me of a Will Muschamp offense, very basic. We ran the same base offense, same plays. It was almost like scripted. We ran the same plays we ran against Utah. That end zone, red zone play where Anthony rolled out to his right. It was like they're trying to mimic the same red zone offense, scripted or something. I didn't like that. Um, I just expected a jump in offense, some more wrinkles in there. Guys weren't getting a lot of separation, and if they were open, which they were on some of the plays, Anthony couldn't find them. He just struggles, man. He throws the ball way too hard. He doesn't have any touch on his passes. Personally, he overthrew that one ball that was a touchdown. I believe the Justin Shorter by like 15 yards. I mean, he just doesn't have any touch. He throws a 90-mile-an-hour fastball every throw. He's not that accurate. That was reported in practice. I think we overhyped Anthony Richardson. I think there is a little bit to the quarterback battle last year that Mullen. I can't stand Mullen. I think he screwed us by not playing Anthony because he would be ahead of where he is now if he had played. He's obviously still would have been better, I think, than Emory Jones, but I do think there was something to that. I don't think he was quite as good as what people thought. I think he is very streaky. He has to get hot, kind of like a basketball player, and then he gets on fire once he gets going. But man, if he makes some mistakes, it snowballs, and you could see it. And Florida's either going to go two directions here. We're either going to spiral out of control, and this is going to be a 5 to 6 win team, or they're going to gel together here, and Anthony's going to bounce back, correct the mistakes, and build and have a short-term memory, and build his confidence back up, and we're going to get back in this thing, and win those 8 games that we predicted at the beginning of the year, 7 to 8 games. Guys, look, Kentucky's a good program. I did predict a blowout, and honestly, after the way we played and Kentucky played in week 1, it's funny because I was all on the hype train and all built up off that win. I think we just got overly excited. I don't think Utah's as good as what they were ranked. I think they're a top 15 team, top 20 team, and we beat a solid team. We were by no means blown out by Kentucky. It was a very even game. We led 16-7. We were in control. We should have won the game. 2 games in a row, really bad officiating. I feel like that again, it went Kentucky's way with the refereeing. I don't understand that. Why Florida can't catch a break there. There's a lot of bad calls on us on defense. Fortunately, the targeting got taken back. But man, just atrocious on the ref side of it. Some of those calls, it's like, man, it's football. Let these guys make a football play. They're making the game super soft. these guys, I feel like that's what hurts us is we were so penalized that now we're almost scared to make a play. And then when we do make a good play, I mean, we're getting hammered for it. And it's not happening to the other teams that we're playing. So I'm not going to say there's bias against Florida, but it almost seems like there is to a certain extent. But by no means did the referees decide the game. We lost the game ourselves. The running game was there at some of the game. Etienne did well, Johnson did well, but we went away from it. It's like we know that their zone was easy to pick apart, but that's not Anthony's strength. To me as a thrower yet, we should have stuck to our guns and run the ball, got creative in the run game. Personnel decisions, Pearsall should be the one on those screen passes to the sideline. Henderson, I don't want to see him doing that again. He's terrible. He has no explosion. He's got long, lanky steps. That's like a 2-yard gain. We've run it 22 times or 10 times for 22 yards. It's pathetic. Like, why are we running this screen pass every single play? I mean, I'm just done. I'm done seeing that. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked. Why are we going back to it? I don't get it. He's just not good in that role. And it's like we want him to be a playmaker. He's not. So yeah, that's a guy that I don't understand why we can't find someone else. Get a running back out there, in the flats and hit him for a gain like that. Not one of these guys that has no shiftiness to him. So super disappointing in that and the play calling. Running back rotation. I don't want to see Naquan Wright on the field. He's not explosive. He doesn't have good vision. He doesn't see the hole well. Again, he was third in yards again. I don't know why Lingard can't get just an opportunity to touch the ball. If you're going to do anybody else besides the other two, I'd rather see him just get a shot to just run it. Maybe not on a pass blocking play, but let the kid touch the ball. I don't want to see that again because Naquan was in there at the end of the game when it was on the line when he hasn't produced anything in 2 games. And you have him in there at the end instead of your best 2 running backs. I mean, that one was a head scratcher for me. I just don't get it. Again, I'm hoping Billy is a guy that's going to learn from his mistakes and get everything corrected. I hope he doesn't keep doing the same stuff over and over again. I will say one thing about the staff I'm going to give them full credit for is they did take ownership for the loss. They praised their guys. Mullen never did get credit to anybody where credit was due. This staff does do that. The other thing I will say is the youth movement is on. We're finally starting to see some guys get in there, replacing some guys. Shamar James had 7 solo tackles. Again, I kind of have to say it was by default a little bit because Miller got hurt, which could be a blessing in disguise for us. Maybe not in the run game. But, man, again, I called it. I've told you guys many times. The linebackers cannot cover a tight end. So linebacker play was atrocious. All over again. We stuffed the run really well. Kentucky was not running the ball till the end of the game when it was just getting out of hand in the fourth quarter. The defense played well. I feel like the defense stepped up and progressed and made that week 1 to 2 jump. The offense went backwards and stagnated. Basically, Kentucky scouted us and we ran exactly what they wanted us to run. But again, like I said, I did see a lot of youth. We played 3 linebackers at times with Scooby Williams and Shamar James, and I thought that went really well. They're better in coverage than Ventrell. Bernie got burned again. Kentucky's not even known for using the tight end, and they decided to go to it in this game because it was so successful for Utah, and it worked for them. And we tried to go to ours, and I mean, a couple catches out of our tight ends, and that was it. And I really think that's something we need to get back to, is getting the tight ends involved, whether it's Zipper or Dante Zanders. I think we need to get them involved like in the spring game. That would be a new wrinkle in the offense that no one's seen yet. We've thrown it to them a few times. Heck, I think they caught the ball more consistent than our receivers did in this game. Pearsall's big time. He wasn't in the end of the game. He was not in on the snaps on the last series after he's made every catch Pearsall has made is a first down. I don't know if y'all realize that, but every grab has been a first down. But again, he can't be the only guy catching the ball. The only 2 guys, it seems like, that have caught balls is a couple to the tight ends, Henderson and Pearsall. Everybody else has ghosted us. I mean, we have no wide receivers. It's just, it's an embarrassment at Florida for us to be so lacking in talent there, but that's what Mullen did to us. Crowd was 90,000. Good game, good crowd. It was loud. I want to say something, though. It doesn't feel like the Swamp is the Swamp. I know it was super loud last game. It was the Swamp atmosphere. But it really doesn't seem to be. I do think it had some effect in the Utah game. I feel like that game was much lighter than the Kentucky game. But it doesn't seem like it's really like had a major impact like it did during the Auburn game and a couple other games in the past history. It just seems like teams are learning to deal with crowd noise maybe a little better. I don't know. It just the crowd noise just doesn't seem like it's had as big of an impact as it has in the past. But definitely more so in the first game. So like I said, Kentucky tried to give us the game, a safety, just giving us points, and we couldn't take advantage of anything. Jervon is the best DB on the field now at this point. That's a joke, by the way, but some people will take what I said serious. But, dude, he's got more interceptions than some of our DBs in his career so far. I thought it was a fumble, but it was actually a pick. Jervon played a hell of a day. He had good defense. Like I said, Shamar James, offense was trash. They dared us to pass the ball, Muschamp-like, no creativity, just bad personnel decisions. So I wanted to go over that one more time. Just looking over some notes here. Justice Boone showed up really well in the game. That huge sack, nice hit on the quarterbacks. Like I said, man, some of these guys are stepping up, which is only going to bode well for us going into some of these next games. I'd really love to see nothing but young guys almost in the second game or third game against USF. I'm going to say I'm pretty confident on a W here. I think this is only going to build us up and possibly help us get that W at Tennessee if it's even possible at all with how we played in this game. But that the youth development in week 3 is going to be huge. That wasn't targeting on that play. Again, like I said, all of the low hits, the blind side was a joke. They were facing each other. I mean, I don't know how you blind somebody who's facing you. Kentucky offensive line's not good, but I'm still going to give credit to the defense. The defensive line wreaked havoc. Levis is not a good quarterback. He did not do well in the game. 200 yards, decent. He had some big pass plays. I was a little disappointed in our DBs. Torrance, again, terrible. He had 1 touchdown, Levis did, and 1 interception by a defensive lineman. So defensive line did well. Linebackers were just okay. DBs were not great. Like I said, 200-something yards and a touchdown. Kamari Wilson played a hell of a game. I thought he did well. He played better than Torrance. So, again, I think they're starting, I feel like they wanted to give the seniors a couple weeks. So that might be some of this, guys, as you're seeing some of Mullen's guys, get the chance to start as seniors, as seniority and prove it until otherwise. And I feel like it's starting to show up like, okay, you guys are still making the same poor angles, poor tackles, getting over leveraged, and they're getting pulled out of the game. So Torrance was out, Wilson was in, Bernie Miller can't cover, a linebacker to save their life. I love the 3 linebackers on the field. We're really going to need that with covering these tight ends. They're going to go back to that. In the future, these other teams playing us, they're really going to try to use these tight ends, even if it's not something they normally do. Scooby looked pretty good in the game. He was flying sideline to sideline. Devin Moore, man, that boy is something special. Devin Moore is the best defensive back and corner on this team right now. Jason Marshall has been getting picked on a little bit. I thought he did well in the first game, but they didn't even use their wide receivers, Utah. So this was a game that was supposed to test them, and I felt like he did okay, but definitely needs to step up a little more. Had a nice third down slant that Devin Moore covered. He played that beautifully. So, yeah, this kid is going to be something special at Florida, and there's a reason, Billy Napier and them went hard after him. We're lucky we got him. I do want to say something about the loss, guys. 2 top 25 teams in the first 2 weeks with a new team, new staff, developing quarterback with really his 3rd ever career start, where a staff's had his back. So let's just, as Florida fans, this is a rebuild. We got to be patient. I'm actually not super upset. There's some concern there. There's some red flags. But there's a lot of positive, a lot to be excited about. Recruiting's going well. A lot of big-time names at the game again. Defensive linemen. We had some DBs there. Dejon Johnson was there. We had the guy that's committed to UCF. Again, this hype's still around the program. You win one, you lose one to a top-ranked team. A good SEC opponent. Again, Kentucky's not the Kentucky of old or when we were younger. So, respectable loss. We get a game this week. We should win handily. I'm not going to take nothing for granted after Georgia Southern and Samford in the past. You just can't. Look at these teams around the SEC. Notre Dame 0-2, losing to a small school. Appalachian State beating the number 6 team in the country, in Texas A&M, who's Jimbo's overrated. His offense is stale. He paid multi-billion-dollar recruiting class or whatever, and can't beat App State at home with the 2-star U. So man, we could be in much worse shape. Let's be thankful and appreciative for where we're at, and stay positive for now. Like I said, we're going to be able to breathe a sigh of relief this weekend. Probably go 2-1. Still ranked in the top 20 going into that Tennessee game. Let's give this staff 2 weeks to get ready and get things right. Again, I'm still going with 8-4, so don't expect to go undefeated from here on out. We're going to take our lumps and we're going to get better, or we're going to get worse. We're going to find out. I'm not afraid to throw the negative and the positive out there, and if it gets worse, I'm going to call it like I see it. Not every hire is going to hit. We better hope and pray that this one does, because we've been in the cellar with Florida football for so long. I don't want to see it anymore, man. I love my Gators. I want to see us get back on top. I trust Billy's process. His first year at Louisiana, he was 7-7. The following year, I believe 8-3 or something like that. But after that, it was like 10-3 or 11-1, 11-1. I don't know. I just know he had 10+ wins, third and fourth year. Won the conference twice, won it outright the last season. But he did really well. He built it up slowly. And as time went by, he was the most talented team in the conference, too, in recruiting. I think that's what he's going to do here at Florida. It might take him till that 5th year to get us to a title, if he's able to get there. I do believe the 3-year test is going to change a little bit with NIL, but I do like where we're going. So I'm going to be patient and hold off on judgment on this second game of the year. I don't want to see the stand pass anymore. Just please scrap that from the playbook, Billy. I'm begging you. Injuries, Tarquin was out, Miller's out, lower leg stuff. He'll let us know Wednesday. I think we're going to be okay there. Austin Barber stepped in, played really well on the offensive line. I say really well. He did okay. He did enough to hold us over till they get back. But that is a loss there. Tarquin's definitely a step ahead of Barber. But everybody said they played well. Richie Leonard, the 5th, got in there. Man, he played good at left guard. So I think we're okay on offensive line. Definitely banged up a little bit. I don't think Ethan's hurt. Billy said he was not hurt in the press conference. A lot of people think he pulled Ethan White for poor offensive line play and put Richie in. And he played better than Ethan White. So I don't want to. That's another positive. This staff's not afraid to pull somebody out of the game now. They're getting tape. And if we keep seeing that, guys, that is a good thing. That means if you're not holding up to your end of the deal and producing, you're getting yanked out and replaced with somebody else. These idiots out there talking about benching AR have lost their minds. Who are you going to play? Kitna and a walk-on? I mean, there is no one to replace him right now. Miller is not ready. Billy said this week Miller's still not going to be back for USF. We don't need him for that game. We could probably win with a backup quarterback against USF just based on the running game. I do think he should be back by that Tennessee game. I think that's what they're shooting for, and that's why they're not rushing him back. I hope and pray he is, because we're going to need him with the SEC team in the top 25. Anthony did gimp up on one of the first plays of the game, so he may have even been a little banged up at the beginning of the game. He said he was fine after, but I definitely think he's a little bruised egotistically and physically after that game. So we're going to need Miller to have some depth at quarterback. And, I believe Billy will pull him if he continues to perform like that game in and game out, even if it is Miller. I do think he will pull Anthony and sit him to give him a little bit of a reset for a series if it really comes down to it. Like 2 pick sixes, don't think Billy won't pull the trigger. Jeff Scott at USF, South Florida Bulls this weekend. He's 1-1. Basically, they lost to BYU. And they beat Howard like 50-something to 7 or 3. So, they're okay for what they are, the size school they are. They're not UCF. UCF's not great either, but UCF's definitely a level up from them. We handled them handily last year with a bad football team. I don't see any reason to concern or fret over this game or worry over anything. We just need to shut down their running back, Batty. He's okay. And they got one good wide receiver. As long as we shut them 2 down, This game doesn't worry me at all. This should be a really good test for the young guys to get in there, get some experience, get some reps, hopefully jump some of the seniors on the depth chart, and to put up some big numbers and get Anthony's confidence back up. And we really need to start to try to develop some new plays. I want to see the install, go a little deeper in that playbook and maybe develop the route trees a little better. They're just still too basic. Want to see some creativity on offense. I really want to see some explosive plays in the passing game. I'd like to see some deep shots hit over the middle or down the sideline. That's something we haven't seen this year yet. We haven't had a pass over, I think the longest pass play is like 28 yards to Pearsall for that first down against Utah. I think we had another one, 20-something yards in this game. So that's definitely something that's got to develop, guys. We cannot rely on the run game, not in the day and age of the spread them out, air raid offenses. It's just not going to work. So hopefully we develop some there. I'm not worried about USF, though. I'd love to see some creativity, not run into the back of the center of our guard on the offensive line. We're so much better on the edges and on the outside. Let those guys get in space and work and just feed Montrell and ETN the ball. So we talked about Miller out, Tarquin out, Miller third out. We put in one thing I want to say is Kentucky did, and they called it, said they were going to do it all week long. They did it. We had no answer for it. They said we're going to spy Anthony and shut him down. Dude had like 4 yards rushing. So props to Kentucky for talking the game and backing it up. We had no answer for it. Again, that is concerning. Ran the same plays at the goal line. Already talked about that. So, guys, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, offensive line grade, I'd probably give him a C in this game to maybe a C+. I feel like Anthony had enough time to throw the ball. The rushing game wasn't great, but I definitely feel like the backs could have done a little better. Play calling and coaching, I'd give a C, C- at best. Running backs, again, I'll probably give them a C+. Special teams is still atrocious, kicking it out of bounds. I don't know what is going on there, why we keep kicking it in the dang corner of the end zone. That's super concerning. Special teams, I'd probably give a B-. Kickoff is terrible, and kickoff return is atrocious. Stop running the ball out. Take a knee and take it to the 25. They say they're about statistics, but I just don't see it. I don't know how you can say you're statistical, but then your guys take it out to the 15 and get tackled on every return, 20-yard line. So that needs to change. Field goal kicking, man, what a story about Mihalik. Dude is a stud, booming them from 50 and like 30-something. I mean, dude's a heck of a kicker. So kicking game's in good hands, guys. It's surprising that our 5-star isn't in there. So yeah, field goal kicking, the 5-star kicker Trace Mag just not seeing the field. I don't know, I guess he just got beat out fair and square by walk-on. Doesn't matter, special teams or whatever, I'm not concerned about that. So I'd give a B- there. Wide receivers, definitely probably a D+, is what I'd give them. I mean, nothing to talk about there. Defensive line, I'm going to give them a B+ in this game. I thought they were great. Defensive ends, keep it contained, flying around the field. I thought we got pressure all night. It was collapsing the pocket. Levis, I mean, we're making life hard on Levis in this game. I'm sorry he's not a top draft pick. I don't know where that's coming from. He did make a few things happen, but linebacker play, I'm going to give a C+ in the game. Maybe a B- if we want to talk about run support. We shut them down to that last quarter. They just got tired because of Billy's calls on those 4th downs around the territory. Giving them the ball back, I think we had enough time and timeouts. He should have punted right there. I know we haven't done anything on offense, so I don't know, I just don't get that. It made it even harder on the defense, based on our end zone. So, bad call in my opinion. Some people say it's a good call, some people say it's a bad call. I think it could go either way, but I didn't like it there. Especially not the second time I did. I mean, the first time I didn't like it. Second time it's like, well, we have no time left. We got to score and do something. So, yeah, defensive linebackers, C. Defensive backs, corners. And honestly, the corners weren't great. Devin Moore was good. Overall, I'd probably say I'd give them a C. 202 yards, a touchdown. I'd probably give them a C+ at corner. Safety play was decent. I would probably say, Dean was terrible. Again, another ball guy, he was terrible. The younger safety, Kamari Wilson, did well. So safety play, I'd probably say B minus because he was terrible at times, but he did have some bright spots in the game. So I'd say it was really up and down performance. It was like one play would be an A, A plus type play. Next play you're gonna have to probably call it a C or something like that. So not great, but decent at times. Overall for the game, I'd say it was a D. It just wasn't a good game at all. D plus. So defensively it was good, but the offense was just so bad. It's hard to be positive about this one. Again, should get the W this week. Not going to go over much with USF. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you like and subscribe to the channel. Again, during the season, I'm gonna try to start doing 2 videos a week. Right now I've just been doing 1 because I'm coaching my kids football team. Super busy still for me this time of year at work, but I'll try to get y'all 2 videos a week. Keep y'all updated and posted, and do more breakdown on some of the players and our opponents coming up. All right, y'all have a good one. Thanks.